Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Rel, and here I am doing some more work to my 67 Mustang GTA project here, and just having some fun with it, and really, getting down to the nuts and bolts of it, and getting some of the details done. Like I got the front suspension all put together and in here, and the trans cross member, and just looking over a few things on how some things were done and how I should approach them and seeing how this stuff fits. So first thing is I flip this over and around because normally it would face forward, but turn it around to go backwards and get the motor in there. And a motor wants to go in a little bit sideways and it's a little bit of a tight fit, but she fits in there and the exhaust manifolds and everything. So looks like everything is lining up. Motor wants to go a little bit sideways and it's a tight fit with that oil pan. But it kind of made me think of a few other things. It's like, wait a minute, I still have the remains of the original buildup that I had purchased that this motor came out of and was built. And I can show you guys how the original builder built is and some of the lessons learned or that he or she showed me on it. So I dug out the parts of my original build so I can see and show you guys how this person had built it. Now, I showed some of the buildups of this, so I'll throw them back up on this video if you haven't seen the other video. So I started with the really nice car here, and it was off of eBay, and it was a pretty nice purchase, but this was back in 2017, 2018. And as you can see, it was pretty nice, and it had the resin parts that I wanted on it that I could see, or it was an original early build AMT kit. But the hood and the tail panel showed me what I wanted to know, and it also had a big block in it. So, and it wasn't advertised as such, just AMT 67 Mustang. So I bid on it and won it. So I'd gotten this kit. So looking it over and seeing, okay, can I rebuild all of this? Or I already had a kit. And so I tore this apart to see, some of the things that were done to it and how it was done, and used some of the parts that I needed on fresh plastic. Now, of course, I took the resin trunk lid, the resin tail panel, which are now on that car, but I didn't need any scoops. I tried to remove the rockers. These ones were resin. They didn't survive. They broke up and they weren't real flat either. So made my own, and then just saw some of the other stuff. So, like I pulled the console out. He had this shifter in it and the 390 engine, but the engine came out really nice. So here I got the engine together and the manifolds, the fuel pump, the coil, all ready to go, distributor. I put that carburetor on it, which that's the original carburetor from the 289, but it's going to be covered by the air cleaner. I did cut the snorkel off and clearanced it for the distributor, so it clears and fits really nice. I just need to make sure it fits in there. And I may have to space it up just a little bit because it's a little low, but we will see. Time will tell on that. But this thing's ready to go, and you saw it pretty much in there. So there was a couple of things that his chassis showed me. So in his chassis, and he also flipped over this and turned it backwards. So I'm like, okay, that kind of made it obvious and where the tranny went. And also this side was clipped loose and that one was completely, and I was trying to get at the center, but it fit really well in here, and it hits the sway bar also, but it drops right in there. But it gives me an idea on where exactly it goes, and the exhaust kind of lines up. It does and it doesn't. So showed me how that worked, and then the wheels he had, which are spaced out a little bit far, but that was this combo, and I'm trying to get them tucked in a little bit more. So I'll get to that when I get to that stage, and the exhaust tips that this builder used. So it kind of showed me some of the things that were going on with it. But as I showed you the body, I painted the tail panel here, got the tail lights in there. So the tail lights are in there and it's looking good. Haven't foiled it yet. I started working on the engine compartment. Got the firewall in, this in, the braces in, and kind of that stuff to get it in there, and blacked it all out. But that helps me see where everything is fitting and how it's going. And that's working out really good. So pretty much now I'm just working on the interior and getting this going. Oh, and the headlights. Here's a nice comparison. You see, here's the original kit's front end, and where I drilled out the headlights and made them bigger, and used the ones from the 67 Shelby. They fit so much nicer and they look so much more proportionate. But this was the plastic front end that he used, and then this is also the plastic front end, but I drilled it out. But I didn't really need to use his, as I had the same plastic one. But there's some other things that are interesting in his build. Same thing, cut the pedal, detailed the steering wheel, all silver paint. But one of the things with the interior that I thought was really neat was this builder chose to cut up the back seat. So there's the bottom, seat bottom. Here's the seat back, fold it down, cut up the tray, and cut this back panel off, and put it all together, gluing it as the package tray, and also cut this part up to put in here. So now we've got the seat folded down and the whole back area open so you can see all the way into the trunk. And they did paint the trunk. So when this is in place, let me see if I can get it. You could literally go right into the trunk, and they built it that way. It was kind of neat and interesting. Decided I wasn't going to do something like that myself, but I like it. It's kind of a neat touch in how they did it. But I forgot all about that too, because this has been in a bag for a long time. But I also showed that they did the oval air cleaner. I mentioned that. Here's the oval air cleaner that was on the kit. It looks like it's a resin. And it also had these carburetors, which look like I'm not sure if they're resin or plastic or what they are, because they're petrified, basically. So there's the setup that was on there. And this is pretty nice air cleaner, but it's bowed this way, so you can see. It's definitely resin. It's not chrome or anything like that. And it's got a whole bunch of bubbles and pinholes in it. But it's kind of neat seeing all of that stuff. Here's the kit hood that I just tossed in here. The kit trunk. Just kind of throwing some of the stuff in here. Like I'm going to actually rebuild this or not. But I just threw the parts I didn't need in this pile as well. And it's got his bumper and the lights and all the other stuff here. Just in here. But yeah, and here's the rear axle with more of the wheels. Not sure where these wheels came from. And they look like they might be resin too. Not familiar with them. But it's kind of fun to see what this stuff is, kind of take it all apart. And I kept this for reference and parts and maybe use this or that. You never know on some of these build-ups when you buy them or what you do. But there's all of that. It's just quite clever on some of the things that were done to it. But I'm working on mine. I got some more detailing to do. A lot of bare metal foiling on all of these parts. I did paint the top of the dash black. And then, that's all white. And I have photo etch pedals on this one. Clean them up. But I'll get the foil and detail work on the dash going. And the exhaust is ready. And I started to paint the leaf springs. Get all that ready. But I really just need to get the interior done. The foil work done. So I can get the windows in and really start to get it together. And then I can start fitting all this. But the motor definitely has to go in when the chassis goes in because of the way it fits. And it's a tight fit. But it looks like it's going to go in there really well. So there's a look at that there. I'm moving the motor forward and getting the fan right up there. So I'm liking the way this one's going and how this is fitting together. This has been a lot of fun. But it's definitely interesting seeing how another builder approached some of these problems and how they handled it, where I'm going to leave my rear seat up and all of this stuff exposed. But it's pretty cool. And some of the other things that they did, painted, the whole engine compartment was painted blue. But anyway, I think I'll, continue on and play with this some more. But I figured I would just take a moment and explain what I got here and what I'm working on and just, why it's kind of slow moving, but it's just kind of fun to do this kind of stuff. And then, share with you this and how it was built. But yeah, the whole engine compartment's blue. Just how somebody else did it. So it's kind of fun to see all of that stuff. But then again, if you do build sessions with other people, you get to see how they build, and everybody builds a little differently. But anyway, I'll continue on with this, and we'll move on to some other projects as well and show you those. So thank you guys for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really do appreciate it. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.